guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be sharing a video that I promised you guys. It is the best of the Sephora collection. So these are all the products that I use constantly from Sephora. Most of these I use on clients all the time. And then I have some items that I own that I use for my personal use as well. I did kind of want to do like the best and worst of the Sephora collection. I was hoping to do that kind of a video, but I didn't want to buy a bunch of products that I don't like. So I thought maybe I'll just share the best items, and then I'll kind of mention a few things that I think you should stay away from the Sephora collection. So the reason I wanted to share this video with you guys is the Sephora collection is something I feel like a lot of us kind of walk right past when we walk into Sephora, but it actually has a lot of really great products, especially for the price point. But honestly, the quality of a lot of the products are just as good as a lot of the other brands that we carry at Sephora. Now there are some exceptions. Some of the products are definitely a miss, but there are a lot of hits there. So I wanted to let you guys know what are the items that you should be looking at when you go into Sephora if you're looking for some Sephora collection products, and what you should just avoid altogether. Okay, so I have my bag full of goodies here, and let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is the brand new powder from the Sephora collection. This is called the Matte Perfection Powder Foundation. So the Sephora collection used to have like a long compact that was like shaped kind of oval, and then it had the powder, same size powder inside, but you had like an empty space for this little spongy thing, which I think these are silly. I never understand why we get those with powders. But anyway, so now I like the fact that they, when they reformulated it, it's a little bit more compact. It's not so large as it used to be. So I really do like the packaging. This powder, you guys, is so soft and silky. It almost feels like a cream to powder finish. That's how soft it is. But it's not a cream, it is a powder. It's just like a really silky powder. So I really do like this powder. I don't use this on its own. I definitely use this just for setting. And it's a pretty good powder, especially for the price. It's $20, so it is a lot more affordable than a lot of the other powders that we carry at Sephora. But it's not a life-changing powder. So this is not, for me, as good as my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, for example. But it is up there. It's a pretty good, decent powder, and I do recommend it if you're looking for a good powder and you want to save a little bit of money. It is a pretty good powder. Okay, I do have a few more powders from the Sephora collection to mention. Of course, I keep saying Sephora collection. Everything is from Sephora collection. So the next thing from their line is this Bright Set powder. Now I have the translucent version. There is a pressed version as well, but I really like the loose one that I own. It's a really nice brightening powder. Now, a lot of powders that are yellow can turn up really yellow on my skin because I have kind of a neutral undertone. I'm not very warm, but I'm not very cool. I'm right in the middle. So sometimes yellow powders can just look yellow. This one doesn't. This one does kind of disappear. It just gives that brightening effect without looking super yellow on me. I have owned the Ben Nye banana powder in the past, and that one is way too yellow for me, but this one I can use. So I really like this. To me, it's a better version of the banana powder. So if the banana powder is too yellow on you, you will really probably enjoy this one here. And this is only $16, so it's a very affordable option. You get a lot of powder in here. It says there's 8 grams of powder. I've been using this like crazy, and it's still super full, so I love this powder. So the next powder product that I wanted to mention is the bronzer. This is the Fiji bronzer, which they say is for medium. It does, when you look at the pan, it does look like it has some glitter in there. It has this really nice design. I love using this on clients because it's a very neutral bronzer. It's not very cool, it's not very warm. It looks good on most skin tones, and even though it is a medium bronzer, I don't feel like it's too deep for even some fair skin tones. That's a little swatch right there. But it blends out like a dream, you guys. It's so easy to blend. it's just really pigmented. A little product goes a long way, but it blends out really nicely. A lot of times bronzers that are very pigmented can start to look kind of patchy because they're harder to blend out, but you don't have that problem with this bronzer, and it's so affordable. Again, this bronzer is only $17, which is a really, really great price for a bronzer, and you get a lot of product again, so it's definitely a really super good value for this. And I also wanted to mention the blushes from the Sephora collection. I have this shade Flirted Up. This is the only individual blush that I own from Sephora collection. I do have their last year's holiday palette. I do use these all the time on clients because, again, they are super pigmented but easy to blend, which is a great combination when you're talking about face products. You don't want something that you have to continue to build up and build up and build up, but you also don't want something too pigmented that can go on looking patchy or hard to blend out. So I really, really like these. The only thing I don't like about the blushes from the Sephora collection is that there's not a big shade selection. At least for our store, I think we only have about 7 colors. So it's a little difficult when a client comes in looking for a specific color to find what they're looking for with the Sephora collection. But if you can find one that you like, it's a great value. These are only $14, so that is a really great price for a blush. Next up, I wanted to talk about this concealer. This is the Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. This is also a $14 product. It comes in a huge shade selection, which is really nice because you're definitely going to find the right shade for you. And then they also have the color correcting ones as well, which have the same formula. These are a really good concealer. I would definitely compare the formula of this to the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. Obviously, it's a lot cheaper. The only thing about this is the packaging is a little bit weird. The way that the wand comes out, it basically removes all the product from the side of the wand. So all the product just sits on the very tip of the wand. So when you apply this to your under eye, you can't draw it on like that. Nothing will come off if you do that. You actually have to dot the product on. So that's the only way that it works, which is kind of annoying because you have to re-dip it lots of times to get enough product to actually you know, conceal your full under eye area. So that's kind of annoying, but for the price and the actual quality of the product inside, it's worth that extra work because once you get it on there, it blends out amazing. It has great coverage, but it's not going to settle into any fine lines or wrinkles underneath the eye area because it is so lightweight and it is that gel formulation. So I definitely highly recommend this concealer if you're looking for a good under eye concealer. All right, I do also want to mention the foundation from the Sephora collection. I actually don't own it. I thought about buying it for this video because I do use it on clients a lot and I actually really like it. So it is called the 10 Hour Wear Perfection Foundation. It is like a medium to full coverage. They call it a full coverage, but you can definitely share it out and make it more of a medium coverage foundation, but it's actually a really beautiful foundation. I would say that it's really good for any skin type. If you have dry, normal, or oily skin or combination skin, I think you'll really like that foundation, and it's only $20 again, so it's a very, very affordable option. As I mentioned, I was thinking about buying it for this video because I do like it and use it on clients, but I own so much foundation right now. It's like, you know, if I buy that, I just really don't need it and I want to get through some of what I own currently. So I did want to mention that product even though I don't personally own it currently. Okay, let's move on to some eye products now. I do want to next mention the Sephora collection retractable eyeliners. There are some other eyeliners that Sephora carries. There's several different ones. I would definitely recommend staying away from any of the liquid ones from the Sephora collection. I am not a fan of them. They are not very good quality. They are going to transfer and kind of bleed, and they can rub away really easily. So I would not recommend any of the Sephora collection for liquid liners, but the retractable liners in particular are very, very nice. I don't like the ones that you have to sharpen from the Sephora collection, but these ones that just kind of twist up and then have the little smudger on one side, these are the good ones. They are very long wearing, they are very pigmented, they are super creamy, so they're not going to tug or pull at all. That is the matte black. It's super, super black, and as I mentioned, it's long wearing. So once this fully sets, it is not going anywhere. You can wear this all day. It's not going to smudge away or bleed or anything. You do have this smudger on one side so that if you wanted to smudge it out when you first apply it, you can. I kind of feel like that smudger does actually just remove the product better than, or more than just smudging it out. So I would use a different tool for that. But they do give that on there as an option. And then also you can take off this whole piece right here, and inside of there is a sharpener. Or this is your sharpener. So if your, since it's a retractable pencil, if your end starts to get a little dull and you want it a little bit more sharp, you have that little tool right built into your product to sharpen it up and make it a sharp, fine tip again. So these are a great, great product. I own two colors. I just have the matte black and then this sparkly purple, which is a really pretty color. Let me go ahead and swatch that one for you. But I would recommend any of these. I think they're all absolutely beautiful. And they do have a lot of shades on this too. So definitely if you like to wear colored liners, you'll enjoy this shade range. And these retail for $12. So again, a very affordable price. Okay, next up for the eyes, I also wanted to mention these jumbo eye pencils. I accidentally squished mine just now as I was grabbing it, but I only own one currently. I own the shade, so it is just a really nice taupe shade. These are great for, I can't believe I just broke this like that. These are really good for all over the lid as a base. So that is the shade that I own right there. That one is my favorite. Now I like to use these on clients, and I've used like the matte black and the white one. They work really great as a base for another shadow. But I would highly recommend avoiding any of the sparkly ones. So I accidentally bought a glitter one the other day, and it was awful. Honestly, it did not give me any color payoff at all. It just showed up as glitter all over my lid. So the color, it was like a pretty champagne color. That did not show up or translate on my eye at all. It was just glitter, and by the end of the day, the glitter was all over my face, not just under my eyes. I mean, it was all over my face. It moved everywhere. It was a huge, huge mess. It was awful. So stay away from any of the glittery ones, but the ones that like this one that have like that shimmery metallic finish are actually pretty good, or the matte ones are really nice as well. And these retail for $14. Okay, next up I did want to mention really quick the single eyeshadows from the Sephora collection, or really any of the eyeshadows from the Sephora collection. Sephora collection does have some palettes as well. They just came out with a couple for the holidays, and then they have some that they keep year round. So I don't actually own any individual or palettes from the Sephora collection, and there is a reason why. I feel like the Sephora collection eyeshadows are either a hit or a miss. So they're all either really awesome eyeshadows or they're completely garbage. So in general, I avoid buying any eyeshadows from the Sephora collection because I just don't feel like they're good enough to spend the money on. Now they are $10 a piece, so I mean, they are more affordable than the high-end shadows, but I would rather spend a little extra money and get a better quality shadow from another line than try wasting my time with the Sephora collection to find one that works or one that's good. And I really don't like using them on clients unless a client will specifically request for me to use the Sephora collection shadows. I will avoid them because, again, they're a hit or they're a miss. I do find that the ones with shimmer, not glitter, the shimmer ones actually are usually the best ones, but not always. Some of the shimmer ones are crap too. So you do kind of have to play with them until you find one that works. So unfortunately, I do not want to recommend them at all because I just feel like it's too much of a gamble. You're either gonna really love them or you're really gonna hate them. So I just avoid them in general. I do have also this eyebrow pencil to talk about. This is their retractable brow pencil. I have the shade Honey Blonde here. It does have a kind of an interesting brush on the end here. Instead of a spoolie, it has this like little brush comb type of applicator. It's kind of spiky and a little bit hard. So I don't actually like that at all, and I don't use that at all. It actually would probably work really nicely to get clumps out of your lashes though. But on the other side you have your micro pencil, which is comparable to like the Brow Wiz from Anastasia. I do like this, but I don't love this. So I feel like this is very comparable to the one from Smashbox, which was not my favorite, but I would use it. It wasn't awful, so I will use it up, but I don't know. If you're trying to save some money, it's a good option. I just feel like the one from Anastasia is a lot better quality, so I will continue to use that one. But this one's not awful. I will finish off what I have. And it's only $12, so it's actually a very affordable option if you're on a budget or for young girls who are new and just starting out with makeup and you don't want to spend a lot of money. This is a really good option because it is only $12. Okay, there's a couple more products that I wanted to give like an honorable mention to that I don't actually personally own, but I do like using on clients. The first one, if I can insert pictures on any of the things that I don't own that I'm mentioning, I will try to do that for you guys. The first one are their powder highlighters. It comes only in 2 shades, and it is called the Micro Smooth Baked Luminizer. It comes in, the first shade is kind of, it's called Stardust. It's kind of like a yellowy, it really reminds me of the NARS Albatross highlight if you've ever tried that one. They're a little rougher to the touch. They have a little bit of a texture, a little bit rough, but when you apply them, they actually do apply really beautifully, especially for the price. They're only $14, much more affordable than a lot of the other highlighters that we sell at Sephora, and a good option if you're on a budget. And then the other color they have is called Light Beam, and this one is more of a champagne-y pink color. Also a beautiful one. I prefer the first one of the two, but they're both very, very beautiful and affordable. I was gonna buy those for this video, but we were sold out. They are very popular because of their price and quality. They're actually really decent for the price point. I also wanted to mention in this video, I'm not going to talk about the skincare or tools, like any of the brushes or lashes or anything like that. I felt like this video would be too long if I got into all of those, but if you'd like to see a separate video for either the skincare or the tools, let me know, because Sephora collection does have some good products in those lines as well. But we're gonna end it off with lip products. I definitely have the most lip products out of everything from the Sephora collection. I feel like Sephora collection does amazing lip products. Some of these are like my favorite lip products of anything we sell at Sephora, so I will get into that. There is one lip product that I don't like that the Sephora collection makes, and that is their new gel liners for their lips. Their quality, or the formula on them, I just don't like them. They're like a glossy liner, so they move around a lot, which when you're putting on a lip liner that close to the edges of your lips, you want something that's gonna stay in place, and those gel ones can move and slip on you, so I don't recommend those at all. Let's start with this little guy right here. I'm kind of losing my voice. Sorry about that, you guys. This is a brand new item from the Sephora collection. These are like a tinted lip balm. So these are called the Sephora Rouge Balms. It is like a tinted lip balm. I have this shade right here, is called 03. The only thing I don't like about all of the Sephora lipsticks in particular is that they have the names of the product on a little sticker on the actual tube, and it's so hard to see the name of the color on here. So like when we're trying to put things away, testers away as an employee, it's so hard to see. Or like if someone's doing a return and they don't have the outer packaging on it anymore, it's really hard to find which color it is so that I can grab a live product to scan it out. So I don't like the way they number them. I wish they had them on the actual packaging. That would be so much easier, and I wish the writing was bigger because it's like teeny tiny, so hard to see. But the formula on these are really nice. I don't like the color I have in particular. It's kind of a orangey red, not my favorite for a sheer product, but the formula on these are really nice. They're very hydrating, and they do give a nice sheer pigment to the lips. And then as long as we're talking about their lipsticks, I also own one of the matte ones and then one of the rouge ones. I think these are like the glossy ones. So I have this one here is R04, the red, and then I also have this new matte one, which is M03. I don't know the name of it. It's something like rose or something, but it's beautiful. This is like one of my favorite colors. This looks so much like a dupe for NARS NARS Audacious Anna, which as you guys know, that's $32. This is $14. So much more affordable option. The formula is really nice, not quite as good as the one from NARS, but for the price difference, totally a dupe. So I do love their bullet lipsticks. They're really nice. I like the ones with the satin finish. I like the glossy finish. I like the matte finish. They're just a beautiful formula and so affordable. $14 a piece. You just cannot beat that price. Next, let's talk about their glosses. They call these the Ultra Shine Lip Gloss. They also have some new ones that come in like a squeezy tube that are actually really good too. I just don't own any of them. But I do have 2 shades of the ones that come with the doe foot applicator like so. And I own the shade this is number 4, Perfect Nude, and I also have 13 Peekaboo Pink, and they're really, really nice. They're very sheer, so they're not going to give a ton of color to your lips, but they will add a nice glossiness. Definitely recommend these for layering, or they can be worn on their own if you want just a sheer wash of color with a little bit of glossiness to it, but they're not too sticky. They're just a really nice formula, and these are only $12. Okay, and then next I have 3 of these Luster Matte glosses to talk about. So these are supposed to be long wear lip colors. They're kind of like a liquid lipstick, but they don't dry down completely matte. I do say that they are like a luster matte in the name, but they don't dry down completely matte. Once they're all the way set, they do have a little bit of a satin finish to them, and then these are very moussey. So these remind me a lot of the formula of the Tartiste lip paints, if you've ever tried those. Or also, let's see, who else has a formula like that, really moussey? The Ciate liquid lipsticks with that really moussey, a little bit thicker consistency. They don't dry down completely matte, and they don't dry down completely non-transferable. So they will still transfer on you after they've completely set, but they're a little bit more comfortable than a lot of the more dried down kind of liquid lipsticks. So they are a good option if you want something a little bit more comfortable, and if you like a satin finish. I own 3 colors. This one here is my favorite. It's called Nude Pink Luster. I also have the shade Rose Luster and then Mulberry, and I think they're all very, very beautiful. These 2 are really nice for the fall, so yeah. Very beautiful colors. I like the shade selection they have in these a little bit better than the last product I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the last product I'm going to talk about, these little guys here, these are called the Cream Lip Stains. These are my favorite lip product of all time. Like, I am obsessed with these. The only thing I don't like about these is they do not have a very good shade selection. So I own 4 colors. They only have, I think, 8 colors in the collection. I really hope that they will come out with some new colors. Definitely some more nude colors and some more neutral kind of colors. I feel like all the colors are a little bit brighter. They have a lot of pinks in the line, and then a lot of corals, and then some like reds, and they're kind of missing the whole nude section. But the ones that I own, I feel like are the most neutral of what they own or what they have in the collection. My favorite one of all time is this one here. It's number 13. It's a mauve color. It's gorgeous. I wear this constantly and I absolutely love it. The reason I like these so much, by the way, they're $14. The reason I like these so much is because they are extremely long wearing, similar to like a Kat Von D or Stila liquid lipstick. They're going to dry down completely matte. They're non-transferable. You can eat, you can drink, you can kiss somebody. They're not going to leave your lips, but they don't feel like super drying. They don't feel like your lips are cracking and peeling throughout the day. They feel a lot more comfortable. Like, I can put this on and I forget that I have anything on, and hours later I can look in the mirror after eating and drinking and it still looks perfect. And I've not ever found another lip product that does that, so I am obsessed with these. As I mentioned, I have 3 colors. 13 is my favorite. I also have this really pretty color, number 7, which is like a really pretty kind of a dusty pink color. It's a little bit brighter, a little bit more bold, but it's a beautiful color. I also have this one here, number 14, which is a really nice vampy berry color. I love that one for the fall. That's gonna be right there. And then the last one that I own is number 6, and this is another pink shade. So again, I feel like they just have a lot of pinks and a lot of reds, and hopefully they'll come out with some nudes soon, because that would be really, really nice. But those are the last products that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this Best of Sephora collection video. If you have any questions or comments for me, leave those below. If there's any products you've been curious about from the Sephora collection that I did not cover, you can ask me those questions below. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this video. And thank you guys so much for watching today. I will see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.